Thanks, Dave. This is an amazing camera. I love this thing. As you saw from my sort of early morning routine video here, Jordan and I shot this video exclusively on the T2i. And hopefully what you guys got to see is just how beautiful the depth of field can be, how flexible it is, and how cinematic you can make this thing. It's great. I mean, it's still a fantastic Rebel body. It's basically borrowing the chip from the 7D, so you're getting that beautiful low light performance and that beautiful 18 megapixel resolution for stills. And they have changed the ergonomics. It's got nice, comfortable rubberized feel here, and as usual with most Rebels, it focuses very, very quick. But let's talk about the really exciting thing, the video. I mean, this thing takes beautiful video, it's easy to use, it's easy to see on the screen, and you get full manual control. We shot the entire video just with available light. No fancy tricks, just available light and some prime lenses. Let's go take a closer look at this camera. Okay. So let's look at this camera a bit more in depth. The T2i from Canon is essentially an upgraded T1i, but there's some important differences. Let's talk about it in terms of its photographic capabilities first. As we said earlier, this camera is basically borrowing the sensor from the 7D. That gives you really high 18 megapixel resolution and beautiful low light performance. But they did improve some of the handling and ergonomics of this camera. It's got a nice grip, it's got a comfortable feel, bit of rubber on this side for your hand to go to. Still nice and light though. The screen also they upgraded. Although it's still a standard 3:2 ratio, which matches your still photos, it's got a very nice, easy to use 16:9 letterboxing function for when you're actually doing the video. And I mean, the video is the key thing on this camera too. That's a huge improvement. It's borrowing the video from the 7D, and I have to say, I'm not a video expert. We've got Jordan here behind the camera who does most of that. But I had a great time using this camera. It was easy, it was straightforward, and the video quality is beautiful. As far as functionality goes, it's very simple. You basically set your shutter speed, your aperture, your ISO, and change your white balance on the back of the camera, and it was straightforward. I got to shoot videos and do it very, very easily. Also, you have a mic input, so if you want to use external mics, that's always an option. But the other thing I loved about this camera was just that beautiful depth of field, and that's one of the key advantages with SLR video over standard video. You're going to get minute, thin depth of field for these beautiful out-of-focus shots. You're also going to get very, very high quality, and this camera does support both 24p and 30p frame rates. One of the key things you're going to want to do to maximize this 18 megapixel resolution and also for your video is to get some nice lenses though. You will want to look at getting some upgraded lenses. And what I use primarily for these videos were primes. These prime lenses not only give me beautiful quality but also a very wide aperture, and that's great in low light. It also maximizes that thin depth of field. This 60mm micro I used a lot for the close-up shots. It got me very close and very, very thin depth of field, and it gave me nice compression for portraits. We had a 50mm 1.4 lens here for especially low light situations. This 28 1.8 that we used became our normal lens for most of our videos. We wanted a more standard perspective and a more regular looking frame. And then this 14mm ultra wide, we had a lot of fun with this when we did our Lotta shots, when we did the car shots. This gave us that wide perspective. It was great in small spaces, pushed that background far, far away. It was just a fun lens to use. I mean, in closing, remember, it's still a Rebel body, but Rebel bodies always focus quickly. So although it's not going to be great as far as a lack of weather sealing and not having a very high frame rate for shooting stills, I think you're about 3.7 frames per second, it does give somebody who's looking for a nice, compact still camera the ability to do huge photos and also do cinematic quality video in a very easy, very straightforward, and really fun way. I can't recommend it enough. It was great, guys.